We all know that good old school governance is the key to an efficient, well-managed, and AI-ready tenant. But for many of us, it's really hard to know where to start. There are so many different paths we could go down. What if I told you that Orchestry has got you covered with recommendations? Our recommendations engine is not a static, one size fits none checklist for governance. We're actually looking at your environment every night, scanning it and bringing to you the recommendations that will be the most impactful for your organization. Let's take a look. When you're in Orchestry, you will find recommendations the second click down from the home. That's how good it is. We've got it almost directly at the top. Inside of the recommendations section, you'll see a variety of information for you. Again, this may seem a little overwhelming because there's a lot of data that Orchestry is bringing to you. Just so you know, there are approximately 50 plus recommendations that Orchestry is constantly scanning your environment for. Not all will show at the same time because you're not going to meet every trigger for the logic behind recommendations. As you can see here on my screen, I currently only have 31 open. 16 have been resolved. I've got 6 snoozed, and we'll talk more about that in just a minute. Notice the capabilities you have here. If you wanted to get a feel for just the urgent items that are open in your environment, workspaces with forbidden guests, that could happen a variety of ways. We're helping keep track of your secure score. So if there's a drop, we're going to come in and show that to you. Perhaps you've had some unsafe links. So you'll notice there's a lot of security around the urgent recommendations. I can clear that filter. Maybe I'm curious about the best practices. These are areas where it's not hard and fast technical guidance for you, but it's considered a Microsoft and industry best practice. For example, in this environment, no home site has been called out for the intranet. Here, I just click that recommendation. Notice I can view details. We're not just going to tell you there's a problem. We're going to give you information about that. So here we have some recommended actions for you. Why you should care. If you need a business case, Orchestry can help you with that. We're also going to point you to sources stating why this is a recommended action. Sometimes those resources will be directly from Microsoft. Sometimes it might be a community blog, a Learn article, or it might even be Orchestry documentation. Once I've gone and done those recommended actions, I can come back and resolve this, or I can just let Orchestry pick it up the next time it scans. If you click resolve, but the trigger still hasn't been satisfied to close it, it will just come back up, just letting you know. Not only can I use priority as a filter, I can come across my screen to the far right. Perhaps I know we need to flatten out the architecture. We need to address maybe our legacy, our classic style architecture. There will be recommendations around that under the architecture category. Here I see I have workspaces with subsites. And we're not just going to tell you, we're going to take you to that information. A few other things we can do. I'm going to click back in the tab that goes to Orchestry. Now remember how I said you could snooze certain items. We know that there's a high probability a lot of recommendations are going to come up in front of your face, but not all of those are going to be a high priority for you today. If you want to reduce that too much information on the front page of recommendations, you can absolutely come in and say, yes, I know we have subsites. I know that's something we need to address in the future, but today's not that day. I could snooze for 7 days, 14 days. I could even snooze forever. If I pick a defined period of time to snooze, when that time is up, Orchestry will bring that back to my open view. If I snooze forever, then when I'm ready, I can just go back, find it in the snoozed view, and reopen it. If I come back up, I am going to actually clear all, and then I'll show you another way you can filter here. Maybe you need to work on things related to SharePoint and Teams, or you want to get ready for Copilot. Maybe all three. Come in, click the products, and see all of the open recommendations for them. In fact, here I see I have 9 workspaces where anyone sharing links have been created in the last 180 days. Ooh, Let's go see where those workspaces are. Perfect. Some of these, I'm not surprised, they have high risk ratings because of those anyone links. From here, I could action these workspaces. I could do them in bulk, or I could pick one at a time. And maybe from this perspective, I want to come in and associate the right review policy to ask the owners of these workspaces to review those sharing links. If remember, we looked at how to do that in our last feature spotlight. I encourage you to check that out if you haven't seen it yet. Back to recommendations. I will clear all results and I will call out, we have a few other things you can do. In the upper right hand corner, I can add, because we can't think of everything that you might need to do from a high level organizational perspective. You can absolutely come into Orchestry and create your own recommendations. Now, please keep in mind when you do this, Orchestry won't have any logic to scan to know if you have completed the task or if you manually complete it when it's time to reopen it because maybe another occurrence has happened for whatever this recommendation is. You can create your own, assign them priorities, categories, what product it impacts, a description and recommended actions, and really start to build recommendations out to be almost a high-level task list, not just for IT, but for your organization. And then when you want to go back and see all the good work you've done, you can absolutely go back through your resolved list and see the work that was done, report on it in your quarterly report, give your team some kudos for all the good work they've done. I hope you've enjoyed this walkthrough of Orchestry's recommendations.